come and make the welcome remarks. Now, Mrs. Chikoma is our event guru at the Heritage School. She's in charge of most of our events, if not all, and she's a head of section as well as a computer science teacher. Please give her a round of applause.
Good evening, the Heritage School directors, heads, staff, students, and our guests. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to our 7th edition of Women of the Moment. Inspiration for girls comes from within, and this forum seeks to empower young ladies from the Heritage School and other schools to achieve and excel. Our school motto is Aim High, and in the same spirit, we want our girls to aim high and also provide inspiration to other girls who are growing up. Our theme this year is Her Dreams Matter, and that's a fact. To all our girls present, my message is this: enjoy this occasion and take away from it as much as you can. Be inspired, enlightened. Let's all network, fellowship, and enjoy.
You're broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round. You can find a fighter, but I see it in you, and we're gonna walk it out and move mountains. We're gonna walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. Yes, I'll rise up, high like the waves. I'll rise up in spite of the eagles up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again for you, for you, for you. times again. Yes, I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up for you, for you. Thank you.
So now I'm going to call up on a couple of people to introduce our speakers. I haven't earned the stripes to introduce our speakers as yet. So I will start with the first person that I'm going to ask to introduce. I think the girls will agree with me. If Vibrant was a person, who do you think it would be at the school? Miss Ndlela, all right. So, Miss Ndlela is our senior mistress, amongst other things, as she said. She's an English teacher. She's a counselor here at the school. She's very involved in our cultural aspect of the school. She runs the cultural, whether it's allied arts, whether it's public speaking, the different clubs. We have Miss Ndlela at the top of all of that. So please, ladies, help me to welcome Miss Ndlela to introduce our first speaker.
Thank you, Rosé. I'll try to be all formal because I am Miss Vibrant, as she said. I actually had to take a gulp of water because what I have to read here is phenomenal. A pleasant evening to you all. A refreshing evening to our directors who have graced this momentous occasion. I'm trying not to be too vibrant. Phenomenal women are in this place. But tonight, I would like to introduce a woman of the moment. A woman of the moment. Our first speaker is a pastor, a singer, a songwriter, and businesswoman. She serves as a junior pastor at the OFCI Ministry International. She's the director of OFCI Media House and Arts for Christ Entertainment Group. At the age of just 21, she opened her first business, an online vavavoom business, jewelry. No, you can clap hands for her. Just at 21, and it's known as Bella Moda. As an artist, she has one extended play, which is popularly known as an EP, commonly known as My Everything. She has collaborated with the likes of Pastor G and Tembelami. She completed her training in ministry with a certificate in charismatic leadership from the Out of Christ School of Ministry. Currently, she's in the process of completing a PDCM certificate in digital marketing and an undergraduate degree in business marketing. In 2016, she was a deputy head girl of the Heritage Senior Department. She was captain of tennis, basketball, and swimming. She attained not one, not two, not three, but 5 honors in music during her time. We have a music guru in our midst. In 2015, she received Best Girl Vocalist, and in 2016, she also received Best African Contemporary Vocalist and Most Promising Singer Award. Phenomenal ladies. Help me give a hearty and warm welcome to the woman of the moment, Miss Anogonaishe Joy Manyika Anajoy.
Good evening, everyone. Oh my gosh, there's so many important, very incredible women in this room, and I'm very humbled to be back at the Heritage. It's a very special place to me. I really enjoyed my time here. Forgive me if I say amen. I'm a pastor, so I might just say I greet you all in the name of Jesus or hallelujah. It's just something I'm kind of used to, okay? So let me just be serious now. Good evening, everyone. All protocol observed. I greet all the students, the teachers, the directors, and all the guests here present. Before we begin, may you allow me to just do a little exercise with you. Is that okay? Is that all right? Okay. So may everybody just stand for a bit. So I am a firm believer of positive confession and the impact that words have. So I would like for all of us to stand and make the following declaration. So you'll start with yourself. I am beautiful. I am unique. I am the woman of the moment. I am going to achieve all of my dreams. Now look at the lady next to you. Before you start, just say, hey sis. You are beautiful. You are unique. You are the woman of the moment. And you are going to achieve all of your dreams. Yes, let's just give a round of applause. You can take your seats. Thank you so much, everyone. Her dreams matter. What a powerful topic and an enlightening theme. A conversation which is necessary to have, especially with the girl child. I know that today we are talking about women, and yes, it's all about us, but allow me to use an example of a man in the Bible who was known to be a dreamer. This man defied the odds of his community and rose to a position of power and prominence, which was almost impossible to attain considering his background. The position he attained was exclusively reserved for the descendants of Pharaoh and extended members of the royal family. But his faith in his dreams and perseverance landed him a prominent position in Egypt. He grew up in a Hebrew background and was at some point the last born of his 10 brothers. There was no way someone of his upbringing or background could lead or be a person of influence. But his father favored him and gave him a coat of many colors because he identified his uniqueness. This young man's name was Joseph. He was a dreamer. But what gave his dreams relevant was that he believed that they could actually come true. He lived a life where he managed himself accordingly so that his dreams could manifest. Joseph became the vizier of Egypt, which was the second position to Pharaoh, and he received a signet ring, which gave him power and authority over all of Egypt, ultimately fulfilling all of his dreams. However, Joseph experienced many challenges before he got into this position. He was sold into slavery by his own brothers because they were jealous of him and against his dreams. He was falsely accused of attempted rape by Potiphar's wife, and he experienced an estimated decade in prison. But at some point, he made it. His dreams mattered to him, and at some point, they came true. There are many lessons that we learn from Joseph's story, but I have summarized a few here to encourage a young woman of the moment. The first one is, your background cannot place a barrier on your dreams unless you allow it to. Never be ashamed of how you were raised, the type of family you came from, or what exposure you did or did not get. A background is exactly that. It's hindsight of your past so that people can have the grounds to know you. The second point is, forgive all your haters who did not believe in your dreams, because there will be many. And so that you can continue to evolve in your purest form. There is nothing more difficult than trying to navigate through life bitter, angry, and frustrated. Joseph's enemies, in this case, were his own siblings, but he had to forgive them because his dreams coming true was their relief as well. The third point is the journey to achieve your dreams that matter to you may not always be as pleasant as the experience of finally living the dream. There may be some no's, some backstabbers, some fake friends, some heartbreaks, some failed tests, some failed projects, but don't allow the hardships to make your heart ill. Remind yourself that there is a dream which still needs to be achieved. The fourth point is some of the difficulties we go through when trying to fulfill our dreams is actually necessary for our character building and pruning. The fifth point and final point is you don't have to do it on your own. I am a born-again Christian, and I'm a strong believer that with God all things are possible. My source is my faith in Jesus. However, everyone has a source, so find your own. Continue to renew your mind. Don't limit yourself to a great life that you can acquire. At the end of the day, if you keep holding on and pushing through, everything you desire will come to pass. The book of Ecclesiastes says that there is nothing new under the sun. It should assure you, as a person, that everything you aim to be, someone already is. And that someone at some point was a person just like you, who was not yet living in a reality that had manifested to their liking. If it was planted in your heart, it matters. If you visualized it in your head, it matters. If you have sleepless nights thinking about it, it matters. Never give up because of the challenges that life presents at you. Every problem that you decide to tackle head on will unlock more doors and opportunities for you. You will be shocked at your capacity and ability to juggle things. My struggles have led to my greatest strides. If life had been very easy for me after high school, and if I had managed to attain everything I initially desired from the onset without any hassles, I would have never been pushed into my calling of ministry. I would have never become a musician. I would have never pushed to start and register my own businesses. I would have never felt the desire to study and improve my education with multiple courses and an undergraduate program. I would have never discovered that I could be pastoral, entrepreneurial, and thrive under turbulent circumstances. Some of the greatest innovations were formed under struggle. A good friend of mine once said to me that how you respond in life when things don't go your way is important. So I'll repeat that one more time, because I know that at this age we throw a lot of tantrums, but how you respond in life when things don't go your way is important. So the advice I give you today is always exercise a positive attitude, no matter what circumstances you'll be facing. Need I emphasize that the greatest gift God gave you is your womanhood. It is a blessing to be a woman. There is so much joy in being a woman, in being multifaceted, multidimensional, and embracing your femininity all in one. I used to think that for my voice to be heard, I needed to be aggressive and rough and a tad bit masculine. Men will respect you. At the moment, I'm the youngest junior pastor at OFCI Ministries. I lead a group of men in our media house. They respect me, not because I'm like them, but because I try my best to possess the qualities and characteristics of sober leadership. Life is all about balance. I enjoy that my life is beginning to look more wholesome. I have a wonderful family, I have good friends, and a soon-to-be husband. In pursuing your dreams, don't forget that life is all about balance. Balance looks different for everybody. But one thing I would like to say to all the girls is never forget that when all your dreams come true, you want to have genuine people close to you who you can celebrate with. Lastly, as I conclude, I would like to urge every girl that don't lose focus because of your surroundings. Adolescent and teenage times come with a lot of pressure. Some will lose their way, but the rewards come to those who remain adamant on achieving their goals. Don't allow distractions to overwhelm you, so much that you end up failing to achieve your dreams. Your dreams may not matter to everybody, but it matters because one day it will help everybody. When Joseph became the vizier of Egypt, his family, all 75 members, benefited tremendously by not having to suffer the famine that was to come. They also received exclusive land in Egypt. So understand this, your dreams may not matter to everybody, but when you achieve them, your dreams will matter to everybody. Thank you.
Please, let's all give her another round of applause. As I knock on 40, I'm almost 40, I'm inspired when I have such a young lady speak to me the way this lady did. Well done, Anogona, sorry. Isn't it amazing? I just heard Doc now say, "Mwana wangu yeye." This is the product that is going out into this world and leading the world. This afternoon, we came from camp with some of the lower sixes. We came from Arondera. Every morning, I'd ask them, "Ladies, how are you?" They say, "Ma'am, it's so hard." Yesterday, they had to do some ropes, and we had to encourage each other. They encouraged me to climb. I have a fear of heights. They encouraged me to climb, to do the ropes, and to walk, and I was shaking like a leaf and all sorts of things. And I managed to conquer something which I did not ever think I would be able to. So I'm going to introduce the next person, who is the next lady who's going to introduce our second speaker. And again, I think the young ladies will agree this is one of the most energetic teachers. Whenever you see her, she's always running. She's always running. I bet you she's going to run up here. So the person to introduce our next speaker is Mrs. Manyonganise. She's a math teacher and a computer science teacher here at the Heritage, amongst other things, and she's also the head of section. I think she's also trying not to run, but let's see. Let's see. Please, help me welcome Mrs. Manyonganise. Watch.
Protocols observed. Thank you for coming. I am here to introduce another phenomenal lady, a woman of the moment. She started a sporting journey as the Secretary General of Harare Basketball Association in 2010 and was later elected into the National Executive as the Women and Youth Commission President of the Basketball Union of Zimbabwe in 2013. And since 2017, she has held the position of Secretary General of BAS. Charmaine, she has spearheaded the FIBA Plus strategic planning for Zimbabwe, as well as winning 2 grants for girls basketball for projects titled Her World, Her Rules. The Zimbabwe national team qualified for the African Championship and attained 16th position during her tenure in BAS. In recognition of her leadership in Zimbabwe basketball, Charmaine was appointed as the president of the Women Basketball Council for FIBA Africa, and she also sits on the Zimbabwe Olympic Committee Board as the chairperson of the Media, Public Relations, Image and Diplomacy Commission. She holds an International Olympic Academy Diploma in Advanced Sports Management and is a graduate of the Women's Sports Leadership Academy. I'm not yet through. In her other professional career, she holds a BCom in marketing. media and communications from Monash University and began in the advertising industry at Columbus DDB. 7 years later, she moved to renewable energy as a technical sales manager with Distributed Power Africa, where she has been for the past 5 years and has recently joined the wellness department at Econet Wireless Zimbabwe. Help me welcome Charmaine Yemurai Chamboko.
Thank you, Dr. Pangeti, and the ladies at the Heritage for organizing this event. I am astounded to be here. There are so many talented, amazing ladies, just from the introductions and from the speeches that we have heard already. It is absolutely amazing. Although I'm not sure if my introduction from Mrs. Manyonganise has anything on Tanatso's table over there. They've got qualifications on qualifications. I'm feeling like a minister without portfolio here. So I'm a basketball person. I am glad to see a couple of faces that I know from that world. Ms. Francisca Sekete over there. Mati from Arundel, I'm sure she doesn't even know that I know her. Naomi, thank you, her mom, for telling me how to pronounce her surname. I was always confused. Tyra, we've got a couple of people, even Ephraim's mom. I think I know Ephraim Chiyango as well from basketball. And this is also where I met my friend over here, Miss Vuma. We went to university together. So I live basketball. It's where I met my husband. My daughter here at the Heritage is the captain of the under-16 team, and my son is in a basketball academy. So it's my life. I'm not sure how many of the English students here do literature. Any literature students in the house? Anybody does Shakespeare? Or am I old school like that? Okay, so in his play called The Twelfth Night, Shakespeare had a quote that says, "Be not afraid of greatness. Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them." I see some of my old school people here reciting it with me. So the latter part where we speak about greatness being thrust upon you is literally how my basketball journey began. I was in a club setting in Harare Basketball Association. I had just attended a meeting because the president of our club was not able to attend that meeting. And I was taking notes because I had been sent, so I had to give feedback, and I was taking notes. I was writing my notes of whatever was going on in the meeting. As the meeting was going on, for whatever reason, there was a vote of no confidence in the Secretary General and his administration, and they had to put in an interim committee. Lo and behold, the gentleman who was chairing the meeting asks, "Is there anyone who's got any volunteers or someone that they want to nominate?" And then one gentleman in the crowd says, "Forgive my Shona. And that was that. Next thing, I think there's a correlation between Kunyora and being a secretary, but not so much of a secretary general. But that's pretty much how I began. And then after that, I was the Secretary General of the Harare Basketball Association for the next 3 years. And then I was elected into the Basketball Union of Zimbabwe, as Ms. Manyonganise said, into the Women and Youth Commission. I think from there, I started to realize that the greatness being thrust upon you cannot sustain you even there. You must figure out what you must do to keep yourself there. So the one thing I'm going to stress in my address to you ladies today is education is important. I know there's a lot of social media and a lot of instant stars and all of this, but your education is something that you're going to continue to fall back on. It's also the one thing that's going to make people stop and listen to you when you start to speak because you actually know what you're talking about. So I have a couple of qualifications that I had to take on in order to do my sporting career well. Because as you have heard, my background is in media management and marketing. That is what I went to school for. But when I realized I want to do sport, I started to do sporting courses. I went to school for sport. I went to Olympia in Greece at the International Olympic Academy for the actual qualifications there, because that is how seriously I was taking myself, so that other people could also take me seriously. I think the one thing that I learned when I was starting off in Buzz was an attention to detail. You know, I tell you, when we once went with the national men's team we went to Tunisia. There was a competition in Tunisia, but we first stopped over in Germany for a training camp. And so we went to Germany, went to Tunisia, and then we were coming back home. As we were in the airport on our way back in Tunisia, we were checking in, and the first person got turned away, and they had to come and call me because I was the team manager. Ma'am, sorry, they can't let you in. Why? Because your tickets are routing you back through Germany, and your Germany visas have expired. Because we only had a transit visa to enter into Germany, not to also come back through. And we were now stuck at the airport. And we had to start, making plans to get everybody on a different flight that doesn't go through Germany, getting people in batches and all sorts. So one of the things that you need to also continue to learn, not just later on in life, but even now, I'm sure Ms. Vuma, one of the things she always tells me is your spelling mistakes in your essays and all sorts, So attention to detail is very important as you're going through your life. I think another thing that I have learned that I would want to also leave with you guys as I became Secretary General is your reputation follows you. No matter what you want to say about how much you have grown, the first impression counts, and what you put out there, people are always going to remember. I went to university, and you can imagine I lived my university life, okay? And I don't know how much of my old school social media people, before we had Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat, we had High Five. And then we had Facebook. And we lived our lives on there. We would go out. I went to university at a certain year. I don't know about Ms. Vuma, who's approaching 40. I am not with her. I am still okay. So, and we used to post all of our pictures. You post all your pictures and you're out and you're wearing all sorts of things, which was well and acceptable at the time. But the internet did not forget me. The internet remembered me when I was trying to be Secretary General of a national association. And people would be like, this one, do you remember about this one? So it was well and good, it was fun and games. I'm not saying do not live your youth, do it. As much as possible, try not to leave evidence, because it's going to come. It is going to come and it is going to follow you. So watch what you post on social media, not only just your pictures, even your posts, all our curse words that we're going to put out there that we think are okay to put now because I blocked mom and she doesn't see. Somebody's going to see it when we're now going through your Instagram and your Snapchat and all of that, okay? So be very careful about what you're putting out there for now. So I had to go through a process of rebranding, so that people could take me seriously. So that people would not just think I'm that young girl that is here to have a good time. So there's a lot of work that you will need to do if you don't do the right work in the beginning. So start right for you to also be able to just do the right thing. So I've had to do a lot of hard work. I have the honor of sitting on the board of FIBA Africa, in charge of women's basketball. I also sit on the board of the Zimbabwe Olympic Committee. Honors that I do not take lightly, and honors that I also realized did not come for free. I worked hard, I put in the hours, and there was also a lot of people that supported me through the journey, which is then my next point that I will then leave with you guys. Your network is going to be very important. How you treat people is going to be very important. A lot of these positions, in as much as you may be qualified, if the people do not like you, you're not going to get it. If you're not talking to people nicely, you're not going to get it. If you don't do your right networking, you may not know how Mrs. Manyonganise knows the HR manager at CBZ, but you were not listening in her class. And the next time when someone comes and says, I've got Tyra here, she says she was at the Heritage. What do you think? Do you think we should give her a job? You may not like what she has to say about you. So be very careful about what your network says about you and continue to cultivate your network. It is what is going to continue to help you as you look for further opportunities as you grow in your careers. I think the last thing that I would want to say, second last, I see a couple of parents that are here. I'm excited that the parents kept on talking about, my daughter is the fastest girl in Harare, and my daughter is the captain of this team, that team. I think we are a different generation from our generation. I played basketball all throughout high school, My mother never watched one game. Not one game. Because Muruita Joktampa Kaskana, ma sports ayaya, and it was never serious. She is surprised all the time now. She'd be like, I wish I had known that basketball could be this serious and it could give you something this serious to do in life, I may have supported you better. So I just want to applaud the parents that are here and continue to encourage you to continue supporting your children. They are going to definitely need it, and it's going to definitely take them a long way. So congratulations and well done to the parents that are here giving their children support. Okay, so definitely now my last thing. As you heard, I started my career in advertising and marketing at Columbus DDB. I love my career there. I love copywriting. I love coming up with smart phrases and looking at, even now when I drive down the road, I look at billboards, I just try to think how funny or how smart they are. That is what I wanted to do. But as I continued to grow in my sporting career, I realized I may also want to pivot in my career. So I just want you guys to know that you don't always have to start where you're going to end up. You may not even have to know right now what it is that you want to do. Start with what you're doing right now. At some point, you are going to be able to then know what it is your actual purpose is. Miss Vuma and her classmates are approaching 40, so some of us who are not quite there are starting to learn our purpose now a little bit later on in life as well, and that's okay. So take your time and find what it is that's going to set your soul on fire. You need to do something that you wake up in the morning and you're like, yes. Even though you're tired, it is still a challenge. It is still exciting. You still want to be able to go and give your best. So take your time to find that thing. It may not be your first career. It may not even be your second. And that is okay. Just do your best along the way. At some point, you're going to find your purpose. And speaking of purpose, I want you to know that you're okay to dream big as you want to, and as they've said today, your dreams matter, even if they matter only to you. Even if they matter, sometimes you don't understand. I tell you, when I started my sporting career, my family didn't understand what I was trying to do with this basketball thing. Nobody thought it could actually be a career. So it only has to matter to you. I will leave you with a quote that I found on the internet. I'm not going to quote anybody because I don't remember. Okay, it says, once you find your purpose, okay, once you find your calling, only you may understand it. You're the only one that can possibly get it. And that's because when God called you, it wasn't a conference call. So I wish you all the very best, ladies, in creating your legacy, in creating your heritage. Good night, and thank you.
So we are now going to have spoken word into band. Now, we not only have music and we teach music, but we also teach poetry. Obviously, I am very passionate about it as an English teacher, so I am very proud when I have English students come to the front and present something. So we're going to have a duo presentation by Panashe Chikoti and Shirley Majomeka. Please come through, ladies.
The world laughs when she cries. It ignores her when she tries something nice. When the world humiliates her, she simply smiles. But when it needs a guide, she leads them for miles. All her worries are buried in her heart, but this world tries to rip her apart. But she, the woman, she's always underestimated. In this world of male dominance, she's often hated. She demands for the reasons and receives none. She's often objected to ignorance and fun. Why? Why is it so? Why is the woman always estimated low? Let's stop is a ruthless act. To this act, let's say no. Let's treat her as a friend and not as a foe.
Pretty women, I said, pretty women like you wonder where my secret lies. I'm not cute or beauty suit or fashion model size, but when I start to tell them, they'll think I'm telling lies. I say, it's in the reach of my arms, the span of my hips, the stride of my steps, the curl of my lips. I'm a woman, phenomenally. I walk into a room just as cool as you please. And to a man, the fellows stand or fall down on their knees. Then they swarm around me, a hive of honeybees. I say it must be the fire in my eyes. It must be the flash of my teeth, the swing in my waist, and the joy in my feet. Men themselves wonder what it is they see in me. They try so much, but they can't touch my inner mystery. When I try to show them, they say they still can't see. I say it's in the arc of my back, the sun of my smile, the swing in my waist, and the joy in my feet, ladies. Now you understand just why my head is not bowed. I don't have to talk real loud, jump about, or even shout. When you see me passing, it ought to make you proud. I say it's in the click of my heels, the sun of my smile, the palm of my hand. Ladies and gentlemen, we're all phenomenal women. All you women here and me. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise.
I'm now going to introduce the next person who's going to introduce our main speaker. And she is one of the women that, as a young lady, myself as a young lady, I look up to. I see what she has done. I see what she's doing. She is in a place of leadership at the moment. She's running the very successful infants department here at the Heritage School, amongst other things, which I will not list. But please just help me to introduce Ms. Manyanga, who is going to introduce our next speaker.
Good evening, ladies. I'm very happy to see so many young women in this room, young women as well as older women. Mrs. Buma, don't mark my English. The young women in this room are privileged this evening to be in the company of so many leaders in our society. Young ladies, when these ladies come in your midst, listen to their story, because one day you will realize that you too can be a leader. One day after school, you will lead a family, you will lead a community, you can lead a company, and you can also lead your country. Yes, you can. The lady who I'm going to introduce this evening is a phenomenal woman who has become a leader in her own right in the corporate world. Her name is Lindiwe Devetebe, and I'd like to give you some of the points of what she has done to date. Lindiwe has more than 10 years experience in strategic marketing and has a proven track record in developing and implementing integrated marketing strategies. She has experience in diverse industries, including FMCGs, fast-moving consumer goods, and also in financial services, driving financial inclusion, and has held senior positions, leading in marketing and in banks. She is currently the marketing executive for CABS. Lindiwe holds a chartered postgraduate diploma in professional marketing, CIM, from the UK. She has a Bachelor of Business Studies, an honors degree in marketing, and a Master in Business Administration from the University of Zimbabwe. She is a fellow of the Marketers Association of Zimbabwe, a member of the Chartered Institute of Marketing, CIM UK, and a board member of the Chartered Marketers Association, CMA. Ladies, it is my distinguished privilege to welcome Lindiwe to the Heritage School and to invite her to address us this evening. Lindiwe.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I see gentlemen around who've been looking after us, entertaining us, and I would like to appreciate the school for showing such good leadership, for nurturing gentlemen for the next generation. Well done for that. Well done for that. As a society, in as much as we are saying women have taken up such big platforms, we need men who can acknowledge that we have powerful women around. So thank you so much, Heritage School. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the leadership at Heritage for inviting me to be one of the speakers at this big event. As I was preparing for it, as I was just preparing my speaker notes, something spoke to me that said, Lindiwe, just go and tell your story. I believe in the power of your personal story. Allow me to say hallelujah. It hits different when you take your audience through the authentic self, through the story of your life, through the journey that you've walked. Born in Cholocho, I come from Cholocho. Did my primary education in Cholocho up to grade 7. Moved to Chegutu for Form 1. Moved to Msengezi for part of Form 1, then Form 4 in Msengezi. Had to go back to Chegutu to St. Francis Paroma for my Form 5 and Form 6. There's one thing that was ignited in me by my mother. I was born to 2 educators, my mom and dad, both educators. I respect educators. She's still teaching even up to this day. And whenever I see educators, I see my foundation. I see my roots. I remember back then when I was in Cholocho, when one would ask me to say, Lindiwe, what is it that you would want to be when you grow up? I would say I would like to be a teacher, because I respected them. Even now, I actually say to myself, at some point in my life, I would want to go back to universities, go back and share the knowledge that I've acquired as an individual. We have a lot to do as women. We have a lot when it comes to giving back to the society what we've gained from it. So like I indicated, born, I would say without dreams. I would say without dreams, because when you are born, you don't really know what you would want to become. You don't really know what you will end up being in life. But I was raised in an environment where there are people who believed in me. There are people who believed in the potential I had. And when I look at the young ladies in here, I've heard there are captains in here, there are prefects, head girls, deputy head girls. You've gotten that far because your parents, because your guardians believed in the potential that you have. So I didn't have dreams, but somebody believed in me. Somebody would say, Lindiwe, you can do it. I remember my grandmother would actually say, Lindiwe is a high flyer, when I actually didn't see a high flyer in me. My mom would say, Lindiwe is a high flyer, when I didn't see all that in me. But what that does to our spirits, it deposits something. So ladies, we are privileged, you are privileged to have parents that believe in you, that believe in your potential, and are able to say, the best thing that I can give my girl child is education. Don't take that opportunity for granted. Don't ever take it for granted. I remember growing up, sometimes I would not like to study, and my mom being an educator, she came up with this phrase that says, "Upenyu wako mwanangu." That spoke to me. that spoke to me. I realized at some point that I had to take some level of responsibility towards my life. The moment as young ladies, we start saying to ourselves, "Upenyu wangu," the game changes. You're not doing it for your parents, you're doing it for you. You are doing it for yourself. I reflect on my journey. You go through secondary education, Form 4, you pass. Naturally, there is that attrition that happens. Some don't make it to Form 5. You guys have made it to Form 5, you've made it to Form 6, and I'm seeing pilots in here. I'm seeing those that are doing a degree in financial accounting, those who are doing engineering degrees. The phrase that says, "Upenyu wako," will take you beyond the first degree. It will take you beyond that. When I look back, I've got people I did A-level with. We are not at the same level. Why? There is something that is different that was deposited in each and every one of us. And I want to deposit that message that says, "Upenyu wako." We went through varsity. I remember we did varsity, and I'm that girl who's always been told, "Upenyu wako," so I would apply that extra effort. I'll speak about getting a mentor a little later. But I remember after having done my A-level, I had 13 points, and I thought I would do accounting. My mom is an accounting educator. She actually had to develop herself after I had gone through varsity, and she's now a chartered accountant. Those are the people who are raising me, or these are the people who raised me. I remember going to use that, applying for the accounting degree as second option. First option, I'd put business studies. I wasn't really sure if I wanted to do accounting, but because I was nurtured by this accounting practitioner, I thought maybe accounting was the best program for me. Eventually, I got a place for business studies. And I remember my lecturers would actually say to me, "Lindiwe, why are you doing business studies when you're so good in your accounting modules?" You know, people would change during the first semester, those who've gone through varsities. There are times when you're allowed to change your degree program. But something in me just said, "You know what, stick to your business studies degree." I wasn't sure what I really wanted, but I also was not bold enough to move back into accounting. I started rediscovering myself. I'm talking of discovering yourself. You guys have got an opportunity now to expose yourself to different experiences, expose yourself to different conversations. You've got big sisters, you've got aunts, you've got uncles, you've got mothers. Speak to them about different career choices that you can take. Speak to them about their different life experiences with different careers, such that when you go to varsity or when an opportunity comes for you to pick a career, you know you've fully exposed yourself and you're picking something that you like. So this was me, destiny taking me to business studies. Did my first semester, high flyer. I didn't realize that I would actually be a high flyer at University of Zimbabwe, coming from Cholocho, coming from Chegutu, coming from Sengezi. Okay, best student in marketing when I graduated. Best student in marketing research. Wow, did I have that potential? I'm talking about self-discovery. I'm talking about you eventually choosing that career path that resonates with you, that speaks to your God-given gift. So you guys are young, explore, read widely, get to choose that which speaks to you. I will talk about exposing yourself to a very good network. I'm one person who would naturally relate to lecturers, I guess because I'm a child of an educator. I wasn't afraid of lecturers. I would relate with my lecturers, and they're still part of my community now. I remember straight after college, I went into employment. I was very quick to get a job. God's blessing, I went to Nestle. After Nestle, got to NMB. And then there is a time when I said to myself, yes, my parents have taken me through the first degree. But if I'm to set myself apart in this competitive industry, I'll have to develop myself. One of the speakers spoke about self-development. I am speaking about you setting yourself apart. You're going to have that first degree. But when you get into the industry, you will have to have that urge as an individual to say, I would like to be the best version of myself. I had my first child, and then I said to myself, there are career opportunities within the bank. I'm just a marketing officer. I would like to be a marketing manager. Then my boss had left. I was the only one in the department. Being a marketing officer, degreed, I felt I had all the potential. I felt I had all the energies. I remember taking on a UZ MBA. I had said to myself, I don't want to do a master's degree in Zimbabwe. I would want to do something, out of Zim so that I get to diversify and also, be global. But because there was this opportunity, I'm talking about opportunity cost now, making decisions that will chart your course, making decisions that will set yourself apart. I said to myself, you know what, it's UZ that I can afford for now, and I'm going to take on that degree. Did my MBA. I'm a woman. I had my firstborn, baby number 2 came. I had to juggle everything around. I'm talking to girls. There's a time when, your life is going to be so hectic. But because you have this thing that has been deposited in you, I want you to remember that you can do it. You are not going to put your life on a pause because you have to be a mother. One of the speakers spoke about having a support system. You don't have to do everything by yourself. I remember enrolling on a UZ MBA with a 1-month-old baby because I wanted that promotion so badly. And I said, my life cannot be on hold because I'm a mother. I had to get a good house help. I had to have a very good support system. My mom, my aunt, my mom's little sister would actually come over the weekends to look after my 2 babies. I had 2 toddlers in the house. But because I so wanted to develop myself, position myself for this marketing manager's role, I had to do it. Went through the program, graduated. She's been reading my profile. I've got a master's degree. Had I not said to myself, I can do it, I would not have done it. Possibly I would still be a marketing officer because maybe my employer would have felt I'm not qualified enough. So as young ladies, take on those opportunities as they come. Do not hesitate. Work towards them. I'll also talk about putting in place a clear plan of action. As you take on that career direction that you want to take, as you choose that degree program that you would want to take, open yourself up to what you will need for you to excel. I'll speak, for example, an accounting person. You may do your first degree in accounting. What do you do after that? One has to know that maybe I need to do CTA, I need to be a chartered accountant. Have that, right in place. You have to know that for you to be exceptional in this field, this is what you have to do. Don't just find yourself doing a certain degree program that you don't know where it's going to land you in. It's okay, she said, that sometimes you don't have it all figured out, but at least have a plan. At least have a plan about your life. Get a mentor, get a coach, get an accountability partner. I've got an accountability partner. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Abigail Churume, my ex-colleague from NMB Bank. She is my accountability partner. You need those women, you need those girls that you can talk to about your plans and can always come back to you and say, Lindiwe, how far have you gone with that plan? When are we starting? You've stopped. When are we restarting? You've slowed down. When are we going to increase the pace? It's going to be a friend. It may be your mom. It may be your dad. It may be a friend. It's entirely up to you. But you need that accountability partner. But an accountability partner can be given a mandate by that plan we've been talking about. You have that plan about your life. Follow through it. And you will be a different person. I still have dreams. I still have dreams as a person. I got into employment. As I was being employed, you know, employment in Zimbabwe, you have children, you've got 3 children that need to be looked after. I rediscovered myself, and I would say my greatest strength is energy. So I said to myself, what am I going to do with my energy? I've done my MBA, that's energy when you've got a 1-month-old baby. After that, 2020, during COVID, I did my CIM, now a chartered marketer. What else am I going to do? I want to be a doctor. I'm not ready for it, but I'm going to do that. I still have dreams. I said, let me channel my energy into farming. I'm a farmer now. I'm a girl who is a farmer, who is a marketer, who is a career woman. But because I've realized that I still have the energy, the God-given energy, I'm utilizing it. You guys are lucky to be growing up in a Zimbabwe where our parents have become so open-minded about entrepreneurship. Long back, you would want to be a teacher, you would want to be an accountant, you would want to be a police officer. You know, we had clearly set out career paths. Rediscover yourselves. Be entrepreneurial. Have so many streams of income. You've heard Steve Jobs talk about that, Bill Gates talk about that. It's things that we're starting to do now after realizing that there is lots of responsibilities which we have as mothers, which we have as women. But imagine if you were to start out now, that discovery about your passion, monetizing your talents. I've seen great performances here. Corporates hire out performers. Monetize your talent. Be wholesome. Be well-rounded. So there's a lot more that girls can do if they get the right encouragement. I'll talk about mentors. People always ask me, who is your mentor? Do you have a particular mentor? And I'll be very honest with you. I have not had a single mentor, and my model has been very simple. Because Lindiwe is not perfect, because the next person is not perfect, one may decide to say, I really don't admire the wholesome Lindiwe, but pick the good out of Lindiwe. You have, you know, different people you can draw from, drawing different strengths, drawing different motivations. In that way, you become well-rounded. You get 1% from Lindiwe, 1% from the next person, and you create this wholesome woman, wholesome individual. They spoke about digital footprint. You guys are going to be dating. You are not going to date without a plan. You are not going to put your life on pause because there's some guy who said, I love you, you mean the world to me, and what. When I look back, you know, when we were in high school, we thought life was. But when you grow up, you realize, you know what, there is nothing to rush to. Take your time. Focus on your plans. Work hard, and you will determine your future. Thank you so much.
I think everyone here has been inspired and at different levels at that. From the beginning, from the first speaker to the second speaker to our third speaker, I think each one of those ladies spoke to us in a different way. So again, thank you so much, ladies. We're now going to have some music from Panashe Njukuya, who is a former head girl, 2019. Thank you, Panashe.
I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, and no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. Another round of bullets hits my skin. Won't fire away, 'cause today I won't let the shame sink in. Where you're bursting through the barricade, reaching for the stars, when you're warriors. That's what we've become. I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. This is me. And I know that I deserve your love. There's nothing I'm not worthy of. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. This is brave, this is bruised, this is who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. This is me.
Did you feel the goosebumps? So I am now going to introduce the next person, the next lady who's going to give us our closing remarks. As I also bow out, this young lady has come and she's taking the world in leaps and bounds. She was a former head girl in the junior school. She's the current head girl as well right now in the senior school. I think that's something, is that not? She does always lead from the front academically, even on the sports field. Basketball, woo, woo, she's always there at the front. And it is my great honor to introduce to you the head girl 2022, Naomi Agwanaman. And as she comes up, I'm going to say, I shall bid you adieu. Thank you very much for having me at the front here and laughing at some of my silly jokes, but thank you very much. And I hope you all have a pleasant night. Thank you.
Okay, so I think everyone's tired of the good evenings, but good evening to all of you beautiful ladies present here tonight. It is with immense pleasure that I stand before you to deliver the vote of thanks. Firstly, I'd like to thank God for granting us the ability to be here tonight. To the directors of the school, for their continuous support and extra funding that made this event possible. Thank you. The guest speakers for their very insightful and uplifting speeches. To Mrs. Razunguzwa for taking the time out of her busy schedule to hire and make sure the decorations were on point, as you can see. Mrs. Mutandiro for all the drinks that we drank here tonight. Mrs. Jiri for providing us with the delicious meal. Mrs. Chikoti for the large donation towards making this event possible. Mrs. Chakoma for always applying pressure and making sure events run smoothly. Mrs. Manyonganisi for always doing the running around, literally, and for not letting me sleep until we finish the guest list. Ms. Ndlela, Ms. Vuma, the art department, for making this event happen. To the gents who for the first time ever, especially Ephraim and Tino Tenda, have taken care of us tonight. To our beautiful guests, the women of the moment, thank you for gracing this event. Your presence has truly been felt. Last, but certainly not least, the maids and the ground staff for making sure our venue was clean. Without you, this wouldn't be possible. I would now like to call upon my gorgeous other half, Miss Ayanda Chikondi Mwale, and the backbone of the senior department, Miss Miranda, to come and help me with the presentation of gifts for our phenomenal speakers. So firstly, we have Miss Anogonaishe Manyika. Next up, we have Miss Charmaine Chamboko. By the way, we need to play another basketball game together because I wasn't ready then, but I'm ready now. Mrs. Lindiwe Tebe Tebe. Thank you once again for being here tonight. This marks the end of our evening. Finally, time to take off those heels and the lashes. I wish you all a safe trip back home. God bless. Thank you, good night, or as they say in my language, kachifo.